Hello! In this lesson, we will take a closer look at Python syntax. Syntax refers to the spelling and grammar of a programming language. Unfortunately, computers are inflexible machines that understand what you type only if you type it in the exact form that they can understand and expect. This expected form is called syntax. Generally, a programming language requires a compiler to convert the programmer's instructions into machine code or lower level form so that they can be read and executed by a computer. Other languages, such as C++ and Java, require the user to compile the code themselves. However, Python compiles everything for you. No extra work is necessary. Isn't that fantastic? This is just another reason why Python is a stellar programming language. Now, Python is a programming language that executes the code line by line. This means that it expects the different command at each line unless otherwise indicated with a backward slash, as such. So for example, if we want to give ourselves a nice string, this is the equivalent from the compiler's perspective to something simply like this. If you want to write a note or a comment that does not get read by a compiler, we embed it in special characters. Use triple quotation marks to comment out a block of code, such as up top over here, or use a hashtag to comment out an individual line of code, such as this. Now we can see everything in green and gray is a comment. This means that the compiler will not read it. Now comments are fantastic and are extremely useful for annotating our code. As you are following along in this course, I strongly recommend you utilize comments for your own reference. Python is also sensitive to indentations. This means that white spaces matter. And generally, Python expects your indentations to line up unless your next line of code is nested within the previous line of code, which we will cover in later lessons. Here's an example of proper indentation. We'll make a second variable called y, and we can see no problem. However, if you make another variable called z, and we do something like this, we see PyCharm does not like this. And if we try to run it, it will fail. Just like that. Unexpected indent. All right, so let's comment out. Python is also case sensitive. Thankfully, the PyCharm ID will catch and notify us of the majority of syntax and indentation mistakes, as we have just seen. So for example, if you want to do something like z is equal to y, right? It's a capital Y now. We can tell it doesn't like this. So we got to change it down to y, and now we can do whatever we want, such as add in some more numbers, etc. Another important syntax feature of Python is that white space within lines of code do not matter. So for example, if I want to do something like this, no problem. It looks weird, not great format as you can see, but it will run nonetheless. Ta-da! And this is identical to having no white spaces at all. Oops. So if we just remove this, it's the exact same thing. Hence, white spaces are generally there for convention and clarity of your code. Finally, the fourth general syntax rule is that parentheses, right? Parentheses are for grouping commands or calling a function. For example, they can be used to identify arithmetic principles, such as if you want to say, okay, x2 is equal to 4 minus 3 times -2, right? So this will take your arithmetic principles, and we will do the things within the brackets first, and then we will multiply by -2. Now the second utilization of parentheses is when calling a function. So we have a built-in function with Python called print, which will display and whatever we put inside it. So we can say whatever here, spelled incorrectly. And then we can add another print statement if you wanted to. We see the parentheses are empty. Let's see what it gives us. Just like that. and blank since we have nothing in here, right? Of course, we can also add variables into the print statement itself. It's just x2. And we can see our value is -2. Great job! You've now learned the core syntax features of Python, including line, indentation, white spaces, and the parentheses rules. Pretty straightforward, right? In the next lesson, we will learn about variables and core data types.